And it looks like we're live, sir. Welcome, everybody. Listen, you're coming in with the sound effects real early, bro.
Right off the bat.
Right
Right
off
off
the
the bat.
right off the bat. Waste no time.
No time.
No time whatsoever. Shows the type of energy that's going to be in this episode.
Roar!
What is this? 79, 80?
Is up there.
Something like that. Dang,
Something
we gotta
like that.
we gotta get a number down. But I'm
79.
Okay, there we go. Episode 79 of The Good Life. We're here. Welcome to everybody that's joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Excited to be back with you, Kabi and myself. But let's dive right into the show. Welcome to the Good Life Visual Audio Podcast. I'm one of your hosts now. Got Kabi here with me. Say what's up, Kabi.
Shout out to my guy Dougal. Yeah.
Shout out Dougal. Shout out. But yeah, we're here. I'm Chris as always. And again, we're here showing you all the ways to design your life with extraordinary health and wealth and really designing the life that you want. As always, find us on all of the places that you listen and or watch your podcast, whether that's YouTube, Spotify, whatever that is, iTunes. Leave us a review, hit a thumbs up, hit a like, share this with somebody that's going to be able to benefit from it. Because again, we got another great episode. We just said we're at episode 79. Today, we're having a conversation about routines, about how important routines are. But before we dive in, man, how you been, brother? Things good? Things well?
Being good, man. Being good. Not as busy as you since I just got like 5 hours a day back, and I'm now kind of looking behind me. You know that feeling. It's like, man, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I should be doing something right now. But yeah, no, that's gonna be filled up real quick as my schedule switches up. So
well, tell the people why though. Break the news. Like, why do you have all this extra time?
Oh, yes. I just completed my neuromuscular therapy program, which is 18 months. And what that is essentially dealing with soft tissue pain. If you have things like low back pain, so the top three things we deal with is low back pain, neck strains or neck pain, and neck shoulder pains, and carpal tunnel syndrome. And as long as we have this corporate athlete life that's driving us to work, we're going to continue to have a lot of clients. So that's pretty exciting. As we move down to LA there, I'm hoping to link up with a chiropractor and start giving treatment to folks. I miss in-person stuff, but also allows me to do my online stuff a lot better, right? As I talk to corporate clients who are corporate athletes who are dealing with this type of stuff, I can recognize it a lot quicker, give advice, even if I can't do the body work in person. So that's I'm done with that. So that's the thing that's freed up my schedule, opened up my schedule quite a bit.
Congratulations.
Hey,
kudos, man. Like
yeah.
I've been on, people don't know, right? You know, we talk off camera, obviously. We don't just jump on and just start having conversations. So I know this has been a huge part of your life. This has taken up a lot of your extra time, and you're such a studious person and somebody that enjoys the learning process. And this has been something that has been, kind of long time coming for you. So again, kudos to you, man, for getting it done. Done, man.
I appreciate that, man. I'm really not, my wife does a great job with this, but I'm really not great at celebrating my victories, if you will, or even acknowledging them, man. I was like, up on to the next one, right? And so, appreciate you highlighting that, because it is important that guy, I'm out here sharpening my skills just as you are. Whatever you do in life, I'm sure you're getting better at. For me, it's this health and wellness game, and it's finding every opportunity to sharpen my skills and to provide a high level of service to people that I encounter, whether it be through this or I don't know how to signal other ways, but other ways we meet. That's this, right? However we meet.
But again, for everybody that's listening, like, take Kabi up on this. We've said this a bunch of times in the podcast, right? This is what we do individually. We spend this time to add value to you as the listeners, we take time to really give you this information. But at the end of the day, just on a one-on-one or group coaching or whatever the case is, now you have a neuromuscular therapist in your presence. Many of you have never even heard of a neuromuscular therapist. But now you have one in your
Man.
presence that has expertise, that has gone through the process. Like, you should probably pick his brain a little bit. Be like, hey,
There you go.
I got some neuromuscular, I got some muscular things. I got some
Yeah.
carpal tunnel. I got
Some
some
pain.
some pain in the neck. I got some
Yeah.
lower back pain. And
Right.
no, the chiropractor might not just be able to get that. Maybe you need a neuromuscular therapist.
Right.
And
Right.
now you have someone that's a resource for you. So hit the man up.
Let me give you a little thing right here that might be a little surprising to folks because oftentimes when we have discomfort in our body, the one of the biggest questions people have is like, who do I talk to, right? So
Mm,
we'll automatically go to our general physician, right, our family physician, and they're like the gatekeepers, and they'll direct us to experts and whatnot. But there's a lot of specialists out there and people who deal with specific things that honestly a lot of physicians don't even know about themselves, right? So it's important to get this information out there because, for example, let's say you have had low back pain for a really long time. Who do you talk to? Well, let me ask you this: if somebody like has low back pain, who would you typically think they go to, or who would you go to?
for me, knowing what I know, it would be something on like the yoga side, like the stretching yoga type side, or a chiropractor is the only person I know that like works on the body.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
like
That's perfect. That's really interesting because there was a period of time, I don't think it was that long ago actually, like I would say like maybe 20, 25 years ago where chiropractic care was not very common at all, right? It's come to be common, but chiropractic care now yoga would be a place to go, but yoga is a practice. Yoga is not really like something you do to let's say address acute pain or like low back pain because you might go to yoga, you might have low back pain and go to yoga and make it worse. You see what
mm,
I'm saying? So
right.
chiropractors are very important, but they deal with the skeletal system, they deal with the bones. That's what they're trained to do. And what happens with chiropractors is they manipulate or make adjustments to the skeletal system so that let's say you have some sort of imbalance or strain in your body, they'll adjust so that your body is more in line. But what's really interesting with a chiropractic care is that if your muscles, right? So if you imagine your bones are stiff, they don't really move too much. If your muscles are tugging at different parts, they're the ropes that are tugging at different parts of your skeletal system. Even if a chiropractor makes an adjustment, if you don't address the muscles that are shortened or lengthened or weak or pulling in the wrong direction or over pulling or under pulling, within a short period of time, your bones will go back to that position because the muscle will pull it back into that position. And a lot
Mm,
of folks don't understand that. So, what the really good chiropractors are doing now is they're pairing up with neuromuscular therapists, with acupuncturists, because they've been trained to deal with the soft tissue, the muscles, and there's other things that are soft tissue, but let's talk about muscles that will you deal with the muscles first, and then you adjust the bone, and that's how you get lasting results. Otherwise, you'll get chiropractic adjustments over and over and over and over again, and you'll go to bed, sleep in a weird way that you always do, and come back, or you'll go drive in and sit in a weird position that you always do, or you'll go sit at your desk for however long you sit at your desk, and you get up and it's tweaked again, right? Because the muscles are pulling on they're like tugging, their ropes are tugging on the bones, right? So it's actually extremely important and to have a really good, and there's differences between getting like a Swedish massage versus getting body work. Like those are not the same thing.
dude, that's a great thing because I didn't know that for a while. It's actually, I think you introduced me to that. That like I didn't understand the difference between like what a actual like a real massage therapist can do and like the massage you get at a spa. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah, huge difference. Huge, huge, huge difference. Yeah, one is more of like relaxation, more of like a mental relaxation and very soft. The other is very clinical, right? So you're looking at, and with my background as a personal trainer as well, and you're looking at how the muscles function, where they're pulling, where they're tugging, and then looking at what are the possible causes of this particular issue. Let's say low back pain. What are we looking at here? Right. And you could go on and on, but it's you're literally in a body investigating the body to find out what is it that's causing this low back issue to be, and you work on those things, and you should collaborate with other experts, right? Because you're not going to be able to do skeletal bone manipulations
Right.
and soft tissue manipulations and all of these things, and biomedical doctors don't really do any of those things, right? Osteopaths maybe, physios maybe, um there's a few others. uh Physical therapists don't necessarily do that. They're more of like recovery from it. So all of them do different things.
It's a really good topic, bro, because like how do you know who to go to? You know what I mean? Like you're talking from a health perspective. I could talk the same thing from a money perspective. A lot of times
Hmm.
people don't know who to go to.
Right.
I've given this education to people a bunch that I I'm not a financial advisor.
Mm.
A financial advisor typically has their securities license and they are putting people into investments. Yes, they may do some planning, but in general, they're finding you the best investments, making sure your portfolio is balanced. They're helping you grow money. They're advising you on how to build it and grow it. That's typically what an advisor does. I'm on the side of the financial coach, right? More of the coaching. So, hey, we're looking at the whole picture. We're looking at all the things you want to do. I'm not making stock recommendations or mutual fund recommendations or bond recommendations necessarily, but I'm looking to see what you have to understand, are you getting to where you want to go financially? I'm looking at debt, I'm looking at savings, I'm looking at your cash flow, I'm looking at your insurance protection, I'm looking at your retirement, your portfolio, your estate plan. I'm looking at the whole thing and then coaching you down the path of how to get that foundation or continue to build on what you have to get you to where you want to go. A lot of times people don't know that. I ask the question a lot of times, hey, do you work with a financial professional? Some people just think of their CPA. Hey, I just work with a CPA. Well, what's the CPA's job? The CPA is to help you save on taxes, to help you to file your taxes, help you to understand your taxes, help you to kind of limit your tax exposure this year. Typically, that's normally what they do. If some CPAs aren't great. They might not even help you, focus on the next 2, 3 years. They might just want to do your taxes and move on. But then there's actually another person that's called a tax planner or a tax attorney. Like a tax planner is someone that'll actually plan for your future tax exposure. Your CPA may or may not do that. So that's a whole nother person in the financial world, a tax planner that you can go to. Then you got like tax attorneys that understand tax law very well, that will understand again how to limit that exposure down the line. All three of those are different positions, all fall in the financial world. You got advisors, you got financial coaches, you got financial planners. Again, putting all these things in place. So a lot of times in our industries, we just don't even know who to go to, right? We don't even know who to go to get our questions answered to help us really do what we want. That's why our conversations are really important, man. So I'm glad you're highlighting that on your side as a neuromuscular therapist to
I
understand
know
that.
what you're expanding on, and we should or explaining here, and we should expand on this in a different episode. I think it's incredibly important because understanding who are the players, where to go, can often be like one of the hardest things to do. I've met so many people, and I can even use my example, my health journey, and I'll let you touch the money piece, but I could even touch on the money piece as to like figuring out who do I talk to about this issue? Like, where do I go and who do I talk to? And if you don't have that information, or you don't have somebody close to you that can help give you that information, help navigate, right, the field, you might end up wasting a lot of time, from the health perspective, being in a lot of pain, right?
Hmm.
Or having a lot of issues, or going to the wrong people and trying the wrong things and taking the wrong advice, right? When it could be solved, you go see this one person, could be solved very quickly. I'll give it an example of why it is that I ended up, studying neuromuscular therapy. Is so I had a significant pain in my lower abdominal groin area, right? What if you look it up, it would say, "Oh, you have a sports hernia." So I, doing a lot of MedMD googling and trying to figure out what is this. Like, it was seriously affecting all areas of my life, like sleep, like all areas of my life, sleeping, walking, everything. Um, I was really nervous because, quite, it was also during a period of time where I didn't have good insurance, right?
Mm.
So I didn't also know where to go to where I could get some help and not, and be able to pay out of pocket, and it
Right.
being right, and it being a real, so I was in a real pickle, man. And for a long time, and I know there's a lot of people out there walking around without good insurance, and I understand it. I really do understand it. Our insurance system as it is now is very, very, there's a lot of issues.
Hmm.
But so that added on top of who I could see, right? And even when I had insurance, the people that were going to see weren't very helpful at all. They had really big titles, right? They had, nice white coats. But I went through, I kid you not when I say I went through probably like almost double digits in terms of people that I went to go see about this issue.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I went to a neuromuscular therapist, or a trigger point therapist, here in the Bay Area. She's actually the president of the Trigger Point Association. And I didn't know anything about it, so I was looking at her blog, and then, like, she went into detail to explain this particular issue that I had, and I was like mind blown. So I made an appointment. I went to go see her, and within an hour, she resolved the issue.
Wow.
Where I had gone bam, 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 all over the place for, like, honestly, for a couple of years. It never I had the issue, right? I almost thought like I would have to go get a sports hernia surgery.
Mm.
Right. That's how intense it was.
Wow.
So, and she resolved it in 1 hour. And what I paid to go see her out of pocket was like a fraction of what I had spent up until that point. Right. So it was, and at that point, I was like, I don't know, like, tell me more.
Yeah.
How do you do this? Right.
Yeah.
Because I also get as a coach, as a trainer, I get a lot of clients who have issues that are keeping them from either just even living life or even thinking about training, right? My back hurts, man. My knee hurts. My this hurts, like da 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 da, right? And what I found is that traditional doctors aren't a lot of times aren't able to pinpoint those things for whatever reason, right? And there's a lot of holes in the system, to say that. So
So
it's
true.
pretty critical to have that access to somebody who can navigate with you.
I think that this should be our next episode. Episode 80 should be how to find the right players, how to find the right people to get you to where you got to go. I think that's a great episode and something that we should talk about for sure. Because I can again parallel it in the money space too, of finding the right people. I think it's a good topic, man.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
I see you put something on the bottom there. What was that?
I did. It was our sign up for our email list, man. Like for people that are
Ah,
watching, that are listening, right? Sign up. Go if you want to hear more of this stuff. We have an email list, right? We're gonna start sending out some emails. We have a Facebook community, right? Like there's a bunch of stuff that we're doing right now to keep you guys engaged, to make sure that you can stay locked in and getting all the information you need to get to the good life. So
I
make
like
sure
that.
you make sure you tap in with us. Make sure you tap in with us. We got a bunch for you. uh, but on to today's topic, which is actually routines, right? It's talking about daily routines and the benefit of having a routine. I kind of thought of some of these things before we had hopped on, of like just the importance of putting a routine in place for your life. Some of you might know that are listening because you might jump on some of these calls, but I host a morning mindset call every Wednesday morning and every Friday morning. Uh, I don't know where the link is. Ash, you might want to find that link. I don't even know. I think we put it on Eventbrite, but it's somewhere. Normally, it was a really close group of us because not everybody gets privy to this good information, guys. Not
That's
everybody gets it,
right.
right?
I'm sure I could put it in the notes or something.
Yeah, but we'll drop it in. But every Wednesday morning, Friday morning, I have these calls just for 30 minutes, just to get people in the right mindset. Because I believe that if you can start your day with a good mind and a good right routine, that it'll allow you to control more of your day. And I know that this also ties in to the things that we talk about here on the show, of not just our mindset and right really being able to kind of elevate our thinking, but also it goes directly into how we choose the things that we're putting into our body, what we do on a daily day with our money, with our health, with our exercise, with all of those types of things. I know it all plays a part. And typically what I've seen over time, and I'd be curious to hear, how you think routines or morning routines or even evening routines kind of affect the health. But what I've seen is that the more you can control your morning, the more you can control your days. The more that when you have some of those temptations or the things that might pop up, right, the more that you can say, you know what, I'm in the right frame of mind. I've been doing the same things that have been helping me really be at peak performance throughout the day. Because again, we're talking to people that are corporate athletes. You guys are the people that are wanting to strive for better. You're working a bunch. You got families. You got priorities and responsibilities. Excuse me, things that you want to be able to get to. And I know how much that routine plays a role. But I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on this routine before we dive into some other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's an important topic to discuss because it can be a very helpful tool to a lot of folks. Now, as you were talking, I was thinking back, there's been times in my life where I've been very rigid with my routine, and there's times in my life where I haven't. And I think I'm not going to sit here and say one is better than the other. I think it depends. And it
Mm.
depends on a couple of things. And I'm kind of pulling a little bit from Ayurvedic medicine here. A little bit is like you have to think about what is
What
your
kind of medicine?
Ayurvedic. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's coming out of India. But I may be wrong, man. That word always gets me. So two interests I have, and I'm studying right now is traditional Chinese medicine (TCM) and Ayurvedic. I am actually a TCM student because school continues for me.
Told you, it's
uh,
got love learning. Love learning.
Gotta put it together, man. But one thing that Ayurvedic medicine does really well is it always looks at it never treats we don't treat the individual as just like all the same, like we're all humans, so everything works for everybody. No, no, no. There's and it, specifically when it comes to food, but also in other ways as well. um you have to look at your particular makeup. All right, I'm probably a little bit more rigid than some folks I know. So for me, that might mean that a very rigid structure works for me very well. Whereas somebody might need structure, but with a certain level of flexibility.
Mm.
So I say that to say I have my thinking has maybe evolved a little bit when it comes to morning routine, but I do still think within our particular society, right, and how we live, how things work right now, if you want to get some certain things done, which a lot of people say they do, then morning routines are very helpful for that. But it doesn't have to be the exact same morning routine that I use or that Chris uses, for example, right?
But
So
bro,
that'll be my thought on
I'm super rigid on my routine. Like I'm
that.
super rigid. Like I actually am at a place that my routine has been so consistent in the morning that if I'm not on that routine, I notice it no, it's noticeable throughout my day. Like it's noticeable. Like I'll literally just come back and be like, oh, that's why. It's because I didn't read the Bible this morning. Ah, it's because I didn't move. I didn't stretch. Ah, it's because I didn't right have that time to myself. That's why my like I notice it right away. And that rigidity, it really is only in the first like maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It might not be in the first couple hours. It's like that first 20 or 30 minutes that I'm getting out of bed and like what I do is automatic now, or at least close to it, to the point that it, like I said, I notice it completely. So
Yeah.
I'm super rigid on it. Just, but again, for that time period, that 20 or 30 minutes, it might not be.
Right.
It's different after that time, but yeah, that part's important for me.
And I'll say this, you're rigid on it because you like the results you get.
Right.
So if somebody's listening to this and you don't like the results you're getting,
Changed it.
then maybe it's time to be more rigid on it or to find a different system that gets you that result and then you stick to it. I mean, we talk about corporate athletes all the time. I mean, athletes are some of the most rigid individuals that you'll come across when it comes to routine, right? Finding a free throw routine, finding a workout routine, finding how you eat, it's et cetera, et cetera. I just saw Instagram posts of King James with his kids is doing a workout and how he goes about things. I'll say this as well. Within that rigidity, man expresses some flexibility to grow, right?
Mm,
If you're doing the same exact workout every day,
mm.
you're not necessarily going to get the same thing out of it. You've got to introduce a new element of
Yeah,
challenge, a
that
new
makes sense.
something new to keep you going, etc. Right? But so for today's conversation, though, let's stick to like what has worked for some folks, right? I just wanted to start with that piece of it because oftentimes, in the past, I've been very rigid in like presenting what it is that should be set, and that's it. But just saying this is not an excuse to be like, well, I'm a very fluid person, so I have no routine whatsoever. Okay, now you go into the far extreme, right?
Right, right.
Okay, yeah, I don't do anything. If I want to stay in bed till 5, p.m., I'll do so, right? It's like,
Yeah,
my guy, but even billionaires don't do that. Actually, especially billionaires don't do that, right?
clearly not.
So let's not look at it. But I think what's interesting, bro, is I'm looking at this Hemble list over here, and it says general morning routine stats and facts about morning routines, and a couple caught my eye that I wanted to get your thoughts on. Right,
Yeah.
the most common morning routines are, and there's 3 of them. Can you guess them,
Um,
or do you already know them?
I kind of remember. I think one of them's coffee. Coffee. We said um, gym, right? Or like exercising. I don't remember the third one though.
And showering. You should shower. All
You
right.
should. That's a
Yeah,
given,
yeah.
right? Like
That's an interesting one to be included. I almost don't think about that. That's kind of a given for me,
yeah.
but I guess it is what it is. Um, I think that's super interesting. I would wonder. I wonder if you fall into this category, why? Why do you exercise? Particularly coffee. Why coffee?
Hmm.
Right?
That's just addiction, isn't it? Isn't it?
I know. I'm sure there is an element of addiction in there, but addiction is interesting because I don't think that's too different than if you do breathing exercises and you get great results and you get addicted to the feeling and you keep doing it, right? I don't know if it's that different from like enjoying the feeling that coffee elicits from you, and it's just a question of like,
I don't
what is
know.
it doing for you?
Maybe, but here's the other side of that addiction because I live with someone that must have her coffee in the morning. She must. It is a must. It's not a if, it's a must. However, pre coffee, she's not the same woman. Like we can't talk. She's like, yeah, I haven't had my coffee. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know that that's yeah, no judgment on the side, but like, is that really the healthiest routine? if like, well, I don't know. Maybe I just contradicted myself in there, right?
Yeah,
Maybe,
I,
maybe.
I get where you're going, right? It's a question of like you said, is it the healthiest routine? But now we go from talk about whether or not it's an addiction to the value of that particular action. Uh, is it the healthiest? The true answer is it depends.
Mm,
I would love to give a hot take here and say no, which I probably would have done, back in the day. But like, it depends, right? It depends as to like how much is it affecting you. Are you really, and the thing with coffee is kind of interesting. It's kind of like I compare it kind of like alcohol and weed and honestly, even things that are healthy like yoga, whatever it is, right? There's a
right.
culture around it,
Mm,
right? There's the culture. There's the culture of grinding the beans or grinding the weed, right? There's a culture of roasting the I don't clearly I don't make much
right.
coffee, but
Clearly not.
if you do pour over, right? Pour
Oh, that's
over, or
true.
maybe you
Yeah.
put you put the little thing over and you pour it over and you say your little chants
French
and
press,
prayers.
French press versus
French
French press
press. There you go.
coffee,
Right.
Arabic coffee,
Yeah, yeah.
Cuban coffee.
There
I
you go.
understand, right?
There you
Like
go. Or
there's a culture.
if you're Wiz Khalifa, what are you rolling in? Is it a Dutch? Is it a what is it?
That's
Right?
right.
There's a culture around it. The smell, right, which is one of our most actually probably our most powerful sense, elicits memories and feelings and it starts to open things up, right? The texture of it, right? The warmth of it, right? The whatever it is. So all of these things, it's like what else, if you remove the coffee and just like any drug or addiction, if you remove that, what else opens up or touches your senses in the same way that this thing does?
Mm. I mean, I think that's the question. That's again what I think is putting people in this place to believe that they need that thing, that
Right.
coffee or that, right? It's because of that feeling. But is it
Yeah.
more like, these are the popular, what was the way that they worded this? These are the three most popular,
Yeah. Three most popular, most common.
most common.
Same thing, right? Most common,
Yeah.
most popular routines are drinking coffee, exercising, and showering.
Yeah. I mean, the showering thing, I think we just kick to the side. I don't know where like that that should be a morning routine for a lot of people.
No, no, no,
Meaning
no, no. You know the
all
folks. Oh
people.
no, no, Grandma, I showered last night. No, I'm good. I showered last night.
Yes, at night and in the morning. At night and in the morning, son. Um,
No, people
but
out there strongly disagree. You only need one shower a day, man.
I strongly disagree.
And some people say you don't
We
even need one shower a day. One shower every other day is cool.
There,
You never
there
knew
are
folks like that?
no, there are. I do know people like that. I just choose not to listen to them because that makes no sense. No, all honesty. Well, I have a thing about showering in the morning from being a chronic bedwetter as a child.
Hey, fair enough.
That's where it came from. I just know that, right?
Habits.
Yeah, habits. That's it, right? Like I had to take a shower every morning because I was probably waking up in my own urine.
That's hilarious.
Don't clip that part, Ash. That's not
Ash,
the part. That's not the
clip that,
part to put out.
clip that. Bad weather.
uh,
Oh man, that's hilarious.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, the coffee thing is, I think the reason why people agree with kind of what you said about the coffee thing, it's so intense, right?
Mm,
It's so intense, like you said, like I must
yeah.
or else, right? It's so intense, but I think just like anything else that's super intense, you're gonna have people that fall on either side or just are,
Mm.
they're intense with their response,
I
right?
mean, exercise can be intense too. Look at The Rock. He talks
That's
about
true.
that a bunch, right? Like he's like, I have to go to the gym in the morning. Like I have to start my day this way. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
I guess. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point. So it's just
yeah,
kind of like what side do you fall on?
yeah.
But another thing that caught my eye was that 40 and to your point, 43%, and this is of Americans consider drinking coffee a crucial start to their day.
You see, is that if that's not addictive language right there, if that's not like crucial,
43% crucial.
crucial.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
like non-negotiable.
No wonder Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts are in
They in
business.
business.
Pete's.
Speaking of coffee, if you want a non-addictive form of a non-addictive alternative to coffee, I got you.
Mhm.
Comment, hit me up, and I got you for it.
That's a big one.
Non-addictive. Yeah,
That's a big one.
non-addictive. You don't need more to elicit the same response, and not as crazy high in caffeine. N- Coffee is natural as well, but doesn't it's not processed the same way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't, again, on this coffee debate, I don't, I'm not a hot beverage drinker. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm not really a hot beverage drinker.
Oh, yeah, you did say that the other day. Caught me
Yeah.
off guard, to be honest. Really did. I was like, "Man, a hot beverage, bro. I love that." I'm not a cold beverage.
Yeah,
I'll drink cold beverages, but I
I'm
don't
just,
love them.
I'm much more of a cold beverage guy. Much more. Rather have a glass of ice water, a glass of, right, something in
Milk?
that's
Milk?
cold.
Glass of milk?
Nah, not so much on the milk side.
All right, fair enough. I just wanted to poke and see what would happen.
You do know I'm black, right?
Yeah.
have you ever heard that? You got to clip that, Ash. Clip that sound, because there's a sound out there of this guy. He's a voiceover guy. He's like, "You do know I'm black, right?" Like he says that a bunch. But yeah, no, never been a big milk drinker. Never drank milk. Right? Would have juice and stuff like that, but it's water. It's cold drinks. I was never big hot chocolate. Never big tea. Never big
Oh,
coffee.
man, I grew up on that stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I had it. It's not like I haven't had it. It's just I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't like to burn my tongue. It's not a good feeling when,
Well, then don't drink it when it's too hot.
but you always inevitably do. Hot. Listen, everyone that drinks hot stuff
Bro, I
inevitably
thought you had
burns.
better discipline than that.
I don't, apparently, or I'm just not a good regulator of temperature or whatever, because I'll blow on it for days. Pause.
Clip that, Ash. Clip that. Please clip that. Days, he says. Days. The man has endurance.
I tried to stop before it came out, but I couldn't. Anyway,
Clip that too, please. Oh
pausing,
gosh. All
pausing
right.
this
Well,
last minute.
I will move us forward here and say 2 out of 3 people who prepare the night before their morning routine report having lower levels of stress. Surprise.
Firmly believe that.
Yeah.
Firmly, and I actively apply that and tell that and teach that to people. That
Yeah.
if you just take that extra 10 minutes before you go to sleep to just say, what does my day tomorrow look like? And plan it out a bit, active, like just so much less stress. So much less stress. Like it just,
Yeah.
I don't even know, what was the percentage on that thing?
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Like I
Two out of
believe
three.
that.
What is that?
Yeah.
66%?
66.6%.
All right, guess this. Fill in the blank. Blank of high is a percentage. It's a number of high performance and successful people report having a morning routine. What percentage?
What percentage of people of
High performers.
high
High
performers?
performers and
Uh
successful people. Did I
90%.
guess?
90%.
Oh,
I'm going high. I'm going high.
ooh. Final
Where
answer.
we at? Final answer. I'm sticking with it. You're not gonna get me to pick the other box.
All right, bet 92. Close.
Hey, yo, you see? That's why I would
Yeah.
crush in a game show. Sidebar. Me and my wife did win at Let's Make a Deal.
The show, the actual show.
The actual show with Wayne Brady. We were on and we won.
Oh, what? I need a
Yeah.
clip. Ash, insert a clip here. I need a
Ash,
clip. That's dope.
Ash, we'll get you a clip. You'll see us.
That's dope. Hey, if you I know you're going to Atlanta this weekend, so if you run it into Steve Harvey, see if you can make it to the show, and I better be on that team.
I'm there. Listen, our Family Feud team would crush. We would crush, bro. Like,
You know what? Actually, I want to be there, but I don't know if I would crush it on the team.
no, we would crush. It's just, man, these are we know people too well. The key to Family Feud, I don't know how we got to this tangent, but the key to Family Feud is really understanding what people would say. Because that's the
Not
answer.
what you would say.
Not what you would say. It's we surveyed 100 people and the top answers are on the board. It's this. So it's what people would say. And if you think of people, you're good.
100 people though, but I need to know, like, is it 100 people in the South, 100 people in California, 100 people? Like, where are these 100 people from?
Very true. That
It
matters.
makes a big difference.
It does. But if you understand a general population of people, these questions that they're asking are probably pretty, like, non, I don't know, non-state specific. I don't know,
No,
non-region specific, not non-regional. So
yeah, yeah, not location, whatever the word is.
yeah, whatever.
Anyway, you know,
92%.
92%, that's pretty high. So maybe again, if you're already doing it, getting great results, continue. Maybe don't beat yourself up as much if you miss, a little piece of a day, like give yourself some grace. But if you're not, 92%, it's a pretty great place to start. Pretty
Telling you,
great place to start.
success leaves clues.
Studies show that exercising, drinking water, and meditating are most effective morning habits. Exercising, drinking water, and meditating are most effective habits. I notice that showering isn't on there. Just saying.
Just saying, not that effective.
Yeah, don't have to. Yeah.
But I would say, yeah, right. Like that makes sense. That's actually a part of my morning routine.
Yeah. Okay.
First,
Exercising, drinking water, and
yeah,
meditating.
and so the exercising and is more movement, and I let you go into that side, right? It's not always fully what someone would call going to the gym, or right, like treadmills or lifting weights, like that type of exercise, but for sure doing 5 to 10 minutes of a stretch or stretches or movement of my body in some way, shape, or form is definitely a part of the routine, as well as drinking a nice quart of lemon water and then meditation or prayer. It depends. Sometimes I do both, but a lot of times it's more prayer, devotional, that side, and then potentially meditation. But those are active parts of my morning, every morning, consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's huge. Just a lot of research behind the drinking water piece of it. 2 glasses or a quart. Get yourself a nice old mason jar. I got one right here. This is, get it up. It's easy. If you like them cold, like Chris over here, put it in the fridge and then you drink it in the morning. If you like them room temp, like myself, or warm, you can do 2 cups of tea. I like that as well. It's pretty easy to fit in, and it does make a big difference. And if you are a coffee drinker, do the water before the coffee. It kind of helps get your stomach going, or get your
Mm.
stomach in a good place. It might be different at first because maybe you're not used to that much liquid. All of these things, I will emphasize this, and I'll give you this one piece before I emphasize this. But fact, beginning the day with a glass of water is tied to improved cognitive function and boosted mood.
I love it.
Fact, right? And then the other thing I'll put is to emphasize that there's a transition with all of these habits. Don't try to go gangbusters, right? Transition. Pick one habit, exercise it, execute it for 7 days, and then add another one. Stack a habit on top of that, right? And then stack a habit on top of that, and then stack a habit on top of that. And the morning routine doesn't have to be long. Before we talk about, what are some of the other most common ones, I think they're kind of actually funny. But it doesn't have to be that long. Like you mentioned 20 minutes, right?
Yep, that's about it. 20 to 30 minutes.
Doesn't have to be long at all. Pick your crucial ones, and stick to the ones that really make an impact in your life. And you've seen some of the ones that you can implement. Here are some of the ones that most people either intentionally, and I would guess for number one, unintentionally implement. At 49% of folks, top, we'll start with the top one. What do you think it is? We haven't mentioned it yet. This should give you a hint. We have not mentioned it yet.
Going to the bathroom, pooping.
Oh, that's a good guess. No, it's checking the phone.
Ooh.
Checking the phone.
50% of people are checking their phone.
50%. 49
Yeah.
to be clear, but pretty close.
Yeah.
50%. 50%. Half of people check their phones first.
Good thing, bad thing. What's your thoughts? Initial thoughts?
Depends.
Stop copping, bro. We're supposed to pick a side.
All right. If I had to pick a side, I would say not bad thing.
Okay.
If I had to pick a side, I'll say bad thing because of a couple of things. First, it means that your phone is too close to you while you sleep.
Mm,
That's number one. Your phone is too close to you while you sleep for a number of reasons. You don't want your phone that close. You prefer not to have electronics in general that close to you while you sleep.
mm,
You can do research on why that is. Number two, it's the first has a lot of significance in a lot of different ways. Where you give your waking attention to first is huge, right? Right as you wake up, you're coming out of dream state or sleep state, whatever you want to call it. And those first 30 minutes are it's like morning dew. Like you're not gonna get it again until the next day,
mhm,
So it's crucial how you use those first 30 hour of your attention.
mm.
All right. So I would say not the best thing, not you slap bad on it and then people just get crazy and they're
Yeah,
like, oh
but
my
let's call it
god,
what it is. Like it's
it's not
not.
great.
Yeah, it's not
It's
great.
not great.
It's not really helping
It's
you
not great. Drink some
start your
water,
day
you're
better.
better off. Breathe, you're
That's right.
better off. Move, you're better off. Get your feet to grass if you can, you're better off. um you know So I'll give you some of the ones on here that if you had to push me to it, I put it in the bad category, right?
Mm,
Some of the ones on here. If you had to push me,
I'm
right? If
pushing.
you
I'm
really
pushing.
push me, right? I'll say checking phone,
Pause.
bad.
Pause. Pause. Clip
No.
that one up. Anyway.
Checking phone, all right? Um, I would put having a heavy breakfast. Having a
Mm,
heavy breakfast, right? Checking social media, which will go checking phone, but maybe you check on your computer. I don't know.
mm,
Listening to the news, no,
mm,
right?
mm, mm, mm,
Hitting the snooze button, no.
mm,
Checking emails, no.
mm, mm.
Right?
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't answer any email. So here's the thing I'll tell you about my morning routine. I Touching the phone is not the first thing that I do, but it is close because I use my Bible app and my devotional on my phone. I happen to do that, but I'm very intentional that I do not answer anyone's call, email, text before 9 a.m. I don't do it. That is just intentional. After 9 a.m., everyone that knows me, like you got the bat phone. You can hit me up. I'm gonna respond. It might be later in the day, but I'm gonna get back to you. I'll call you back. All that type of stuff is true. But before 9 a.m., I might have my phone, but I am not responding to anything. Not an
That's
email, not
fair.
a text, not a call, nothing. That's my time, right?
Now, did
And
something happen that like made you make that decision, or is that something you just like innately just came to?
yeah, back to that morning routine. Like again, me knowing that my days became more chaotic if I started answering texts at 7:30 in the morning. If I started
Mm,
answering emails and stuff, because I wake up to things. I wake up to notifications. I wake up to text messages. I'm normal,
right,
right? I wake up to all that stuff. I just don't consume it at
right,
all
right, right,
until a
right.
certain time because I knew that wasn't good for me long term. My days were not. I was starting out stressed out. I was starting my
Yeah,
day stressed out, and that wasn't healthy. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just And now people they adapt to your life. Like
right.
people adapt. They know they just kind of not going to hear back from me till after 9 a.m. and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I like that. I like that. I like that. And I'm not as rigid with it, but I think it's something I would be rigid. I will be more rigid with as we move forward. Now, all right, but let's do a quick round of hacks. Some hacks that we found here to kind of bring things to a close here. And I'll be curious, kind of your quick thoughts on them.
Yeah,
We're not going to time it, but quick little line on them.
we'll
So,
make them quick, and we'll tighten up the screen to make it even quicker.
hey, let's do it. Let's do it. What life hacks have become part of your daily routine? If you're going to choose any one of these, we would love to know. Or if you already do one of these, we'd love to know your take on them. Number one, my alarm clock is across from my room, requiring me to get out of bed, prevents me from falling back asleep.
I don't have an alarm clock. My natural body clock wakes me up. I'm different, I know, but that's it. I haven't used an alarm clock in forever. Even on important days, I just set
This
my
guy,
mind. Yeah, I'm a
this
robot.
guy,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
this
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
No, I'm with you. I haven't had an alarm clock in years either. So fair enough. I
But the people
brush
that do, though, People that do,
Yeah.
are you hitting the snooze button? Like,
Yeah.
leave that in the comments. Like, are you hitting the snooze button? Are you
Right.
actually snoozing? Or are you
Could
just,
you do it without an alarm clock? Have you ever
mm,
thought about that? Is that something, does it scare you to think that? You
mm.
know, I'll be curious to know. But anyway, I brushed my teeth as part of number two. I brushed my teeth as part of my daughter's bedtime routine. I don't have a kid, so I don't know this, but this keeps me from snacking late at night since my teeth already feel clean and I don't want to mess them up before bed.
It's very interesting. I don't do that, but I could see how that would help, right? I could see, because after you brush your teeth, you kind of don't want to eat, right? Like, you like, I feel good. You might not want to. So it's a nice hack, I guess.
It depends on how bad. People will definitely break that. I'll brush them again. Right.
Very
Number
true.
three, a work from home life hack I adopted was using break time from work to do low mental energy chores.
I don't even know what that means. Low mental energy chores. What does that? What does that mean?
So I
Like
guess something
laundry? Like you break from work and go do laundry?
so I guess it's something you don't have to think about, right? Too hard. Or
That's not a hack. Get out of there with that. Pass. That's garbage.
I want to hear something about that. I feel like there's some people that would agree with that. Number four, taking my dog for a 20-minute walk. 20-minute walk first thing in the morning to get my brain and body moving.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Seems like a lot of people do that
I'm.
without
I'm
thinking about
sure.
it.
Yeah, without thinking about low. What is it? Low
Low
mental.
mental energy.
Whatever. Yeah, taking your dog on a walk. I mean, that has to happen. So you might as well. Some people are probably lazy and just open the door and let them go. Some people, the ones that are not snoozing the alarm clock, are probably taking them on the walk. It's probably
Yeah.
a nice hack for them.
Yeah, see, I'm pretty sure I've seen a study somewhere that shows that people that have dogs for this specific reason tend to be healthier, if you will, for this particular reason because they go out first thing in the morning to take a walk. But it depends. You could always find a way to lazy hack that, if you will.
That makes sense. Here, real quick, before the next hack, would you think that grounding, because you mentioned putting your feet in grass, or walking, if you had to pick one of the two, which one's a better, like, kind of, and again, I'm making you, don't say it depends. Which one would you prefer to, like, get your morning going?
My answer, I would for sure combine them. I would for sure. Why not? Like it's like I would for sure try to combine them. On your walk, find a place to put your feet to some earth. If
Mm.
you can't find that, either you live in Philadelphia or no, I'm just playing.
There's lots of major cities in the world, sir.
But I would for sure combine them. I mean, I don't know how you can't. Um, So do
Okay,
the one that you can, and if you can do one, you can probably do the other.
makes sense.
Along with if you live in a place with sun, I'll do that as well. But yeah, that would be my answer for that. Uh, take an extra 15 minutes to make your bed.
What is that a hack
Yeah.
for? What are we
Yeah.
hacking? What are we hacking on that?
Start empty the dish for I guess do your dishes, do your work like early in the morning, I guess. I don't know. That one is a horrible
so
one. So
so
let's
so
see.
there is a, well, I mean, just to elaborate, there's a book. I don't know. There's a guy that talks about making his bed. He's some Navy
Oh
guy,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Talks about making your day and making your bed and how that helps your discipline in the morning or something. I don't know. I never read the book, but I got the gist of it. Probably has something to do
Yeah.
with that hack.
I think it's probably right down the line of having a routine, something that gets you going, right? My brother went to military school, and honestly, I saw his habits kind of improve when he would start. Now, granted, I think he's lost all of that, but but I saw that I was like, oh, whoa, dude is like folding his clothes in a particular way. There's a lady my wife really enjoys. Um, Marie something. She's the tidy up on Netflix. Um, but she's big on like how you fold your clothes, where you put your stuff, and like clearing up energy and feng shui and all of that stuff. I don't think she necessarily does it in the morning, but
Mm,
combine those two as well. Don't do
very.
one or the other. Combine them.
That's a
Feng
hack.
shui your space.
Combine your shui.
Yeah, that might be the hack. Habit stack.
Mm,
There you go.
that's it. Very
That's all
good.
I got for you today, folks. habit stack.
That was it. That was the word. Guys, I think today was a good episode for us to really dive into this stuff about daily routines and making sure that you are putting some of these types of things in place in order to kind of, organize your life a bit, guys. We all need some organization in our life. Again, many of the people that
Not getting easier.
it's not getting easier. It's not getting less stressful. There's always more pressures. We're talking to, again, a lot of the people that we coach and we personally help, that corporate athlete, that person that has a bunch on their plate already, successful in what they do, striving in their career, right? Pushing for a better family life, pushing for more work-life harmony. Those people, that is why having this daily routine in place or putting things in place that are helping and assisting with your life is going to be crucial. Maybe not drinking coffee, but the other things are crucial. So we're going to sign off. It was a good episode, man. I appreciate this one.
Hey, man, it was fun. It was
Absolutely.
fun.
Absolutely. So until next time, as always, guys, make sure that you share this with somebody that will like it, will hate it, doesn't matter. Just share it with somebody so that they can hear more about some of these hacks on their routine, about what they need to do to design their life that they don't need a break from, right, Kabi? So
That's right.
Until next week, guys, we're going to sign off.
Peace.
Later.
You're
You're supposed to do the